Hey, what's up, guys? Sean back, and I watch a lot of My 600 Pound Life on here, and I think I did the math on it, and I have watched something like 1,000 hours of My 600 Pound Life since July 2023, or whenever I did the first super long episode on here, and I thought it might be fun to go back over some of the biggest failures, because off the top of my head, I could think about Lisa Fleming would be one of them. I actually don't remember how that one ended. James King, Shanae, those all come to mind. Steven Assanti's definitely always up there. That guy sucks a lot. But Big Craig made this video, the biggest failures on My 600 Pound Life, and I thought it would be fun just to go back over them. And also, I've been talking to him a lot lately about that fatlosskitchen.com, his weekly newsletter. So I'll link that down in the comments. If you want to go check, it'll be a pinned comment, and sign up for the weekly newsletter. It's not going to cost you anything, and he's going to send out some nice, like, low calorie, high protein meals every week. So yeah, let's give it a go, see what they got.
These are the biggest failures in my 600 pound life history, from people who barely lost any weight to those who actually gained weight. And we start with Tanisha Cleveland, who, despite getting emotional throughout her episode, struggled to make any progress. Tanisha weighs in at 588 pounds at her first appointment with Dr. Now. With her episode being one of the longest journey of the show, Tanisha struggled to break her bad habits by initially putting on even more weight instead of losing it. Accompanied by her 2 children, Tanisha shares her guilty pleasures with Dr. Now.
Sweet.
Bro, I think I've done Tanisha's episode, but for the life of me, I can't remember it. I'm telling you, they all start to blur together after a while. It's crazy.
Sodas.
Okay, how many soda you drink a day?
Ooh, I can drink a 12-pack. Maybe a little more sometimes. Just depends. Sometimes fast food. Let's go grab a burger, pizza. I'll have a snack. You know, I like my chocolate. Maybe some chips sometimes.
At nearly 600 pounds, Tanisha can't complete most tasks that a typical sized person should be able to do. Instead, she relies on her partner Troy to finish most tasks for her, getting emotional when confronted by Dr. Now about this.
Who is your enabler?
I don't really want to say. He is, you know.
She describes her partner
Never underestimate the the ability of someone to deflect blame when we get to the size. Like, it's our fault. I mean, there's going to be people enabling you, yes, and I like to make fun of them when they do, but 100%, it's all on you at the end of the day.
as her enabler, essentially passing the blame of her weight loss onto him.
But Troy takes care of everything. And if he doesn't, it makes me upset, especially when I'm hungry. Because
I forgot about him sticking a bib in the back door. I didn't think that was part of the friggin' episode. Man, I really forgot this one.
when I crave something, I just have to have it.
A contributing factor to Tanisha's unhealthy weight is her stature.
At 5'1", her weight is extremely out of control. She is proportionally equal to 700 pounds for someone of more average height.
At the start of her weight loss
Damn.
journey, she is pushing her body to the absolute limit, with her life expectancy being less than 1 year. Dr. Now's treatment
I could never underestimate that either. The ability of My 600 Pound Life to show you more cookies than a crumble.
plan for Tanisha is simple. Follow a diet plan of 1,200 calories and lose 30 pounds in a month to qualify for weight loss surgery. Because how can he trust her to lose weight after surgery without proving she can do it beforehand, and she doesn't have much time left?
You don't have much longer like this. So this is the time to change before it's too late.
A month later, when Tanisha checks back in with Dr. Now, she successfully lost 34 pounds in order to qualify for the surgery.
I can't believe it. I'm really glad I hit my goal. And I'm excited for the doctor to see that.
During filming,
Wow, she is pretty friggin' short, huh? I guess I couldn't realize it before until I saw her bent over with a bib in her butt, but yeah, she's pretty damn short.
Tanisha struggles to maintain the weight loss after surgery though, and ends up putting on more weight, reaching 603 pounds. Realizing that she has to turn her life around, Tanisha does restart her journey to lose weight, but she takes over 2 years to drop around 100 pounds. And by
Oh yeah, I could never, now I remember, I could never forget that damn hat she was wearing on the scale. That thing is ugly as hell.
the end of the show, she weighs 484 pounds. Tanisha made excuse after excuse, which is very similar to the next patient and number 2 on our list, who also had plenty of excuses lined up to complain about.
Oh, I remember. I was gonna say she was the one that was trying to sell her jiggly bits or something, right? She was going to like the plus size girls conventions and guys were going full chub for that thing. Full chub for the chub.
Plus size model Janine Mueller is immobile due to her obesity and relies on her electric scooter to travel, even inside of her tiny apartment. Adopted at just 2 months old, Janine's adopted mother was concerned that she would develop weight problems as she grew up. At just
Oh yeah, it's the mom that put her on a crank or whatever. Oh yeah, doesn't she go to McDonald's too? Like I'm trying to remember. I swear they all blend together.
3 years old, she placed Janine on a diet, then advancing to diet pills just a year later. Janine's weight was the central focus of the relationship between herself and her mother. This led to an unhealthy obsession with binge eating and purging, sneaking food to avoid judgment from her parents. Unlike many stars of the show, Janine doesn't have anyone close to her to help her out. As she's unable to drive, she can only go as far as her scooter will take her.
The construction vest just to go out there and get yourself a quarter pounder is pretty friggin' wild too. Once you reach a certain size, I don't think you need to wear a high vis or anything like that. You're pretty effing visible. Like some cars coming through there are friggin' smaller. Have you seen a Fiat? Pretty sure we're bigger than an effing Fiat.
This means that she often goes through the fast food drive-thrus.
Hi, may we help you?
Hi, yeah. I'd like a 20-piece nuggets, large fries, and a large Dr. Pepper.
Janine genuinely seems like a nice person. She's kind to the staff and looks upset and ashamed at what she has to do. But as she has no one else to help her, she believes that this is her only option. Janine was desperate to start shedding the pounds and gain some control.
I forgot about her trying to squish Whiskers over there, but yeah, that's a fat kitty.
Control of her life back. To get to Houston, she tries to fly, but ends up getting escorted off the plane as she has a panic attack.
Oh, God. I just need something right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can help it anyway.
Was that guy one of the ones she picked up at the convention that was there to say, "Oh, I love the jiggle. Let me show you all this junk food I got upstairs"?
Got it?
Can't do this. I can't do
You
this.
got,
I can't do this.
You got this. You got this. You got this. You're in. You're in.
That's what she said.
You're in.
In another attempt 2 months later, Janine successfully completes the journey and makes it to Dr. Now's office. Weighing in at a staggering 678 pounds, Dr. Now puts her on a strict diet to lose some initial weight and qualify for surgery.
Okay, you're going to read and follow the 1200 calorie a day diet that I'm giving you again. And you're going to stick to it, as well as start to get up and out of the scooter.
Yes, sir.
You're pretty much immobile at this point. So all these factors together make surgery far too risky to perform on you.
If you go from being like a plus size model to 678 pounds, doesn't that kind of show you that that's a self-destructive, like, just it's self-destructive to be a plus size model, I guess is what I'm saying, because the bigger, the better, and it just kind of goes that way, I guess.
And you are not going to be approved unless you lose at least 100 pounds. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Most everybody at your weight can lose that in 2 months.
Okay.
2 months later, Janine has only lost 15 pounds. Over the next few months, she continues to lose small amounts of weight just to put it back on. During filming, Janine suddenly gets rushed to hospital with an infection in her leg. The wound is a large bed sore on her thigh, caused from being stuck lying down for long periods of time, as Janine is too overweight to move at all. The seriousness of the infection shocks her, as she didn't realize just how dangerous her weight was and the implications it was having on her body.
Okay, so you can see how that is.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get a mirror back there, could you? I guess you could like double mirror it somehow. Bend over, bareback bear crawl, hold like a hand mirror out to the side. I guess. I mean, I guess you could do some kind of MacGyver thing with the morbid mirrors.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So that's on the back of my thigh?
It's really open.
Oh my God, I had no idea it was so bad.
Back in hospital, the excuses continue. She hates the hospital, the diet food, and how the hospital staff encourage her to sit up in bed and try and exercise.
I don't like it here, and I really feel like the diet is too extreme, and that I'm being pushed too hard to do things I'm not ready for.
So once they get my infection cleared up and it's no longer endangering my life, I want to go home.
When Dr. Now comes to check up on her, Janine gives the performance of a lifetime when asked to step onto the scales.
We need to see how your weight is doing.
Yes, please.
And get you on the scale.
Okay.
Huh? You think you can make it?
I think so. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to secure this walker. Oh boy.
Hold on,
Can you hold
a
this
minute.
for me? Oh boy.
All right, the panic attacks going a bit far. I know panic attacks can come out of nowhere for just about any friggin' reason, but if you start to have one right before you're about to step on a scale, I'm gonna think you're smuggling chicken nuggets into this hospital room some friggin' way, because it's a weight loss show, right? You gotta get weighed in.
I wasn't prepared for this today. I'm sorry.
Just go ahead, sit
I
down.
gotta retry.
Okay. Go ahead, sit back.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't know you were coming this morning.
A few months
You're up. That's like half the friggin' battle. Also, I'm pretty sure I saw burger wrappers sticking out of her thigh. I think that was a wrapper.
later, Janine is still in the same position as to when she first started on the show. A new development, however, is that Janine starts to believe that she's bulimic.
You still think you're bulimic?
Well, my problem is I don't want to eat.
What do you mean that is a problem? That's not a problem if you don't want to eat. If that's the case, it's an excellent problem.
After having enough of her delusion, Dr. Now sends her home and instructs her to lose 50 pounds on her own in order to qualify for surgery. By the end of the show, she doesn't lose enough weight to qualify though, and her excuses and negative attitude prevented her from losing a significant amount of weight over the course of an entire year. Although
I remember Janine, like Snowball's chance in hell that she was going to take it that serious. And I don't think I did her episode all that long ago. I just remember like the squishing the cat, the McDonald's drive through, but I didn't remember what weight she ended at. I've done so many of these, I literally forget.
Janine was genuinely quite kind and respectful at the start of her episode, the next patient couldn't have been worse. And that was Steven Assanti, arguably the most infamous patient ever on My 600 Pound Life. Hated for ordering pizza directly to his hospital bed, abusing hospital staff, and even throwing his urine on the floor.
I never seen any patient like Steven. He asking for pain medicine every 15 minutes and then he spilled urine on the floor.
Oh yeah, Steven was the piss pirate. This guy sucked a whole hell of a lot. I think I actually went kind of easy on him in the episode. I don't know. I didn't rip into him like I normally would if somebody was this bad.
It's really upset, okay?
Steven is also one of the show's biggest failures. Steven's origin story is pretty clear, as food was his only source of comfort growing up. Both he and his brother were neglected in their childhood years, resorting to food to fill the void of loving, attentive parents.
Let's go back to my childhood days. How my mom used to leave me and my brother at home and go out clubbing all the time. Mind you, we were young. My mother abandoned me and my brother for the person she's with now.
By the time
I also don't believe a single thing he says. I don't know if that really happened or if he's just sitting here remembering mom going to the grocery store and he's like, she left me, she didn't bring me because I put too much stuff in the cart.
Steven was a teenager, he weighed over 300 pounds. It's not surprising how Steven grew to this staggering size, as he was eating 6 to 7 large pizzas every single day. Steven's father reached his boiling point when he found a cupboard in Steven's room completely full of pizza boxes that he'd ordered and ate in secret.
And I see 10 piles of empty pizza boxes in here where he tried to hide them from me. I said, let me tell you something, it's gonna stop because I don't want to see that ever again.
He could not be
Yeah, the lord of the large extra cheese over here, Steven Assanti. Man, what a friggin' piece of work. How do you think you're gonna hide that? At least recycle it.
controlled by anyone, even threatening to call the police on his family when they wouldn't bring him food. Surprisingly, Dr. Now took him in as a patient. Arriving in Houston, Steven's life goes even more downhill than we thought was possible. Weighing in at over 700 pounds, one of the biggest ever patients on the show, Steven is placed on a drastic 1,000 calorie a day diet. It doesn't take long though for Steven to fall back into his manipulative ways. He abuses the call button, calling the nurses over trivial matters.
I want this light off.
When his meal is a few minutes
Bro, that's why I could never be a friggin' nurse, because I would want to trip him so damn bad and just laugh at him, especially if we tried to throw pee all over the room. Like, that guy is just some special level of needs to go to hell, you know?
Late, he rings the bell.
My lunch is awfully late.
When he is slightly uncomfortable, he rings the bell.
It's very frustrating how long I have to wait for everything.
He complains about other nurses and the length of time it takes them to respond to his calls.
Really?
I also didn't realize that he was using his stomach as a kickstand for the pad and scrolling with his friggin' nipples. That's pretty wild, too.
Really getting on my last nerve.
He even complains about the ethnicity of some of the hospital staff. He demands that his requests be dealt with immediately and isn't afraid to cause a scene when he feels like he's been waiting too long.
Damn it! Are they serious? I hit that by an accident because I don't feel good, you know what I'm saying? You know that.
As Dr. Now learns of Steven's behaviour, he quickly supports his hospital staff and gives Steven a challenging ultimatum. If he wants to stay in the weight loss program, he must leave the hospital and prove he is serious by losing the weight without the support from the staff. When Steven cries that he has nowhere to go, Dr. Now threatens to drop him off at a homeless shelter.
I don't have anywhere else to live.
If you say you have nowhere at all, I will have you drop in homeless shelter in a few minutes. You are finished.
Upon leaving,
I don't think there's any way a homeless shelter would accept him. The guy that's sitting there screaming for food every 10 seconds and throwing his pee, you think he'd be a little more grateful to the hospital staff, right? The people literally taking care of him.
the hospital, Dr. Now requests that Steven continue to lose weight on his own without the help of the hospital staff in order to stay on his program. This doesn't bode well though, as Steven quickly falls back into his normal behavior, manipulating his father into ordering him pizzas throughout the day. Not only this though, Steven becomes addicted to opioids as he admits himself into different hospitals, claiming to be in intense pain.
Steven just got a prescription filled, and it's hydrocodone, and it was 100 count, and they're gone. So he took the equivalent to knock out an elephant. I think that he have a slight problem.
Towards the end of the episode, Dr. Now reaches out to Steven with one final ultimatum.
And I need to see weight loss from you.
Bro, the part where he ripped out his hair so he could try to get back to the hospital or act like he was going crazy and stood there and act like you can go delirious from Domino's. That's the part that I'm friggin' remembering now. But doctor hopping, he even treated his aide like crap. This guy sucked a whole lot, man. More than a Riley Reid.
If you have no weight loss, we're gonna drop you, okay?
Yes.
You're gonna be on your own. And this is gonna be end of the road.
At the weigh-in a month later, Steven's weight gain instead of a loss is almost comical, as he gained another 80 pounds since leaving the hospital. Dr. Now kicks Steven out of the program completely, reprimanding him for his selfish decisions and failure to care about his own life, finally washing his hands with it. Similar to Steven, Penny's...
Oh, for the love of God, Penny. Look, she does not represent Maryland, okay? I'm from Maryland. We don't claim Penny, okay? And she probably still weighs more like a nickel, honestly.
Episode is infuriating to watch too. At 600 pounds, Penny relies completely on her husband Edgar to maintain the household and look after her, as well as their young son. The amount of care that Penny requires means that Edgar has to be a full-time carer.
Bro, every time I see Edgar, I just can't stop thinking about Despicable Me. And he's going in for the diarrhea scoop, too.
Fortunately, meaning that they struggle financially as he cannot work a regular job and relies on welfare to support the family. Penny is also completely immobile, living full-time in her makeshift hospital bed in the family's living room. This is detrimental to her son, Liam, who she can only attend to if he comes within her bubble, which is the...
Also, keeping an economy-sized thing of barbecue sauce on your bed while you're eating all the fried food that you eat every friggin' day, pretty friggin' nuts. But anytime there's a kid involved, I hate watching these ones.
Space between her outstretched arms. Arriving at the hospital, Dr. Now claims that Penny's BMI is over double that of a super morbidly obese person.
A normal body mass index is about 20. 35 is morbidly obese. Over 40 is super morbidly obese.
I still think I got screwed. Nobody ever let me ride the elephant swing or anything.
85.7. That's very big.
Penny's program begins by the book, a 1-month diet to show that she's determined to lose the weight and hopefully qualify for the weight loss. In hospital, where her food is provided and unhealthy snacks are forbidden, it should be easy to drop the 25 to 40 pounds needed.
I know that I have to still now change everything I've ever thought about eating. At this point, the only thing I have left to do is either lose weight or lose my life.
Initially, Penny
Also, closing your eyes and jamming a carrot down your throat probably reminds you of being at home, huh? With Despicable Me.
seems positive, as she does lose the 40 pounds required to qualify for the surgery. But after the surgery, everything starts to go downhill. Dr. Now insists that she needs to start making small steps outside of her bed to encourage blood flow post-surgery, as well as to start exercising to shed some additional weight. Penny, though, completely rejects this and refuses.
I cannot function without wontons. They're not the best thing for me. Dr. is out and it's going to be like, why is she eating that?
I'm not gonna lie, wontons, pretty friggin' good, okay? Not being 600 pounds, also pretty friggin' good. Being around there for your kid, living a couple extra years instead of sitting here and like choking down some wontons, pretty good idea.
But I can eat all of this by myself.
As she continues on the program, she starts to become more aggressive, speaking rudely to hospital staff and disregarding their advice.
It's your dinner time.
Can they call and say something? She does have a diet, bariatric soft, 1,200 calories.
What is it?
Bariatric soft diet, 1,200 calories.
Why am I on a soft diet?
That's the orders that he.
Well, he needs to get his poop in a group or else I'm going to order something. This is so stupid.
Despite being on a 1,200 calorie diet, Penny's weight just remains the same, and Doctor now begins to suspect that Penny's somehow been sneaking in snacks to the hospital.
She's not losing weight anymore.
Oh yeah, you should have checked in her fold for some Chips Ahoy's. There might be some damn wontons in her wonton, turning into wonton soup down there. But Despicable Me, definitely smuggling in some Doritos. You need to pat that guy down, see what he's got on him.
She's being given the right diet. There's no reason why she shouldn't lose more weight while she's in the hospital. Penny must have somebody sneaking in food.
This is not only dangerous because she's already overweight, but excessive eating after the gastric bypass surgery can negate the effects completely and essentially revert the procedure. Penny's attitude only worsens as she refuses any more help from Dr. Now, and she admits that all she wants to do is go home.
Baby, I'm not going to be successful unless I'm home. I know there's no way.
No, there's wontons at home, but I would say that she's not going to be successful in the hospital either because she's sitting here nodding out. She's high as a freaking kite right now.
We took a punch to the gut. We gotta shake it off.
Several months later, she continues to miss appointments with the doctor. As he grows concerned for her health, he brings her into hospital via ambulance for an emergency evaluation. Learning that she has lost no weight at all in the months she was supposed to be on a diet, Dr. Now has lost all hope for her. Penny
Also, did she have like a FUPA BBL? I don't think it's supposed to hang down there like that or be that damn plump, man. She must have had some kind of silicone put in that sucker.
Penny's failure is made clear to us when Dr. Now compares her to patients he operated on at a similar time.
Penny lives in a false reality and she chooses to overeat. She does not admit it. The people that I operated at the same time I did your surgery, today they're 250 pounds.
Penny's downfall is clearly due to believing that she is a victim and above everyone else. She can't comprehend that she is the reason for her weight gain, instead pulling up every excuse in the book as a potential cause. Penny is definitely the most delusional failure of the entire series, believing that she is doing well when in reality.
Yeah, Penny is kind of next level when it comes to just how bad somebody could do on the show. Because I did her Where Are They Now too, and she was sitting there talking about how she was losing all this weight, and she told the EMTs, I'm like 300 pounds down. She was literally just sitting there thinking, wontons are on Weight Watchers. Like, she was so delusional, it was insane.
Reality, she probably doesn't have many more years to live. Someone in a similar situation.
Oh, for the love of God, literally, she's the one God got me. God got me. I'll lose this weight. You believe in God, Doctor Now? That's her, right?
Situation was Shanae Murray Hawkins. As one of the heaviest participants on the show at 721 pounds, Shanae's BMI was almost 5 times above the average for someone of her weight. After her initial appointment with Dr. Now, Shanae was instructed to lose.
Damn, it's a 2-for-1. I forgot Mom was in here. She's about 4.5, isn't she? She's getting up there too. I didn't even realize Shanae was over 7. I thought she was just above 6. I forgot about that.
A large amount of weight to qualify for surgery. Unfortunately for her though, she failed and didn't lose any, which resulted in her hospitalization. When patients are admitted to Dr. Now's hospital, this is usually where they see most of their success, as there's less distractions and opportunity for failure as meals are provided by staff. This is where Shanae saw her biggest drop in weight at 91 pounds, which is a good achievement. However, this didn't last long, as when she left hospital and continued her treatment at home, you could probably guess what happened. She gained.
Yeah, Freddie the Frito Fricker ended up bringing her a bunch of stuff. Didn't she get caught too? I swear I remember a chip bag falling out of her cooch or something while Dr. Now was standing there. Like he went to check on her side or whatever, and then he spread them apart. He found there was a cinnamon roll in there.
Yet another 40 pounds. Tensions rise as Dr. Now finds a stashed away pizza box in the hotel room, which Shanae denies as hers and instead blames her husband. The pair argue back and forth, Shanae shouting that she has only eaten her diet food, while Dr. Now disagrees, claiming that if that were true, she would have been down 130 pounds by now.
It was me that ate it. She didn't eat any of that.
You both need to stop lying. You can.
Freddie, you could not polish off that whole pizza if you friggin' tried. Also, there's probably some pepperoni grease lingering in her double chin if you really wanted to check that close, because it'll drip down there.
Here, to have weight loss surgery. You haven't lost any weight in 4 months. Why?
I'm telling you, doctor, I got water weight.
You should have lost 130 pounds by now. And you eating this junk and you keep lying to me. You have weight loss surgery, you lose weight, right?
Yes.
Okay, because you eat less.
Yes.
If you.
Yeah, I mean, she was a sinking ship from the start, right? More water weight than the Titanic, and that puppy went down.
You eat less, you lose weight.
I'm not eating. I'm telling you.
And this is for Freddie.
It was.
So part of that it makes sense.
Shanae's excuses are endless, the funniest being the all too common "it's not weight, it's just water" response that countless other patients have thrown throughout the show. Feeling a sense of remorse, Shanae apologizes to Dr. Now for her rude behavior. Dr. Now though rejects her apology, urging Shanae to focus on her own weight loss rather than worry about his feelings.
Also, it can be water weight at times, but I've never seen water weight come on from laying in bed. It's usually when you're really active that it'll start to swell, and I didn't see her doing any of that. And I don't think eating can be a thing that makes you put on water weight.
But I'm apologizing for my eating.
Okay, apology, I will accept it when you lose your weight. I need to see action. I need to see you commit to this program and lose weight like you're supposed to. There is no excuse for your lack of progress.
It's clear that Dr. Now cares much more about the health of his patients than they do themselves, and it's incomprehensible to see how much Dr. Now is willing to help, how many chances he's willing to give Shanae, and all she has to do is follow his advice. It doesn't take long before Shanae just gives up, demanding that she be sent home. Shanae stops.
The last thing somebody sent me about her, I think she was grifting, or she even has a friggin' YouTube channel. And I'm pretty sure she moved on from Freddie, found a new guy that was going to give her extra Doritos or something, because maybe Freddie got tired of it eventually. But I think you can find her on YouTube if you search hard enough. She has a channel, and she sits there and begs for money and talks about how she has a baby now, I think.
Stopped filming and participating in the show and failed to show up for her next appointment, even going as far as blocking Dr. Now's phone number to prevent him from reaching her. Due to this, Dr. Now removes her from the program completely, making Shanae one of the show's quickest ever failures. Saving the best till last at number.
Shanae's like my Hall of Fame, one of the worst, but James King, he's pretty friggin' bad too. But his wife was pretty damn bad. That was the problem too.
Number 6 is the infamous James King. 791 pounds and bedbound, James relies on his partner Lisa to wait on him hand and foot, acting as his servant. She prepares all his meals and takes care of his hygiene, with the help of James's young daughter, who he made drop out of school 5 years early to become his carer. As
Right? That's the worst friggin' part about the whole episode. Not just the wife, him making her drop out, and the way he treated the dad. Because if I remember correctly, the dad took like a loan on his house to get him down there or something. And he still did absolutely nothing.
James is so overweight, he can no longer walk to the bathroom and instead relieves himself in his bed. His body has become so heavy that his wife and daughter no longer have the strength to lift him. His family friends have to come to help, taking 4 people to lift him. Instead of being grateful for their help, he screams and wails the entire time. James continues to be ungrateful when it takes 8 men to carry him from his bed into the back of a moving van as he makes his journey to Houston to see Dr. Now. After being placed on an 800-calorie diet, James struggles to maintain this at home and is rushed to hospital with chest pains. Determining that James was suffering from heart failure, Dr. Now urges James and Lisa to understand the life-threatening nature of his obesity, but this falls on deaf ears, and James's treatment at home begins to fail. At his next appointment a few months later, James weighs a whopping 840 pounds.
Just the lack of care for people around him or anybody else whose life is affected by him being in that bed screaming for food is what drives me nuts about him the most. Also, I don't know how you showed his legs right there. I think YouTube did not like when I showed his legs. I got a thing for shocking imagery or something.
And it isn't surprising to see how he got there. Instead of sticking to his 800 calories a day, James was ingesting over 10,000 calories a day, 13 times the amount he should have been eating. Almost accepting defeat, Dr. Now gives James a final ultimatum: lose 100 pounds in 2 months or he's completely done with the treatment. And you can already guess the outcome. Dr. Now must be the most patient man in history, because he gives James another chance in the Where Are They Now episode.
Oh my God. And this is where she starts bringing in Hot Pockets in her prison pocket, right? Or something like that. She had a Snickers smuggled in her prison suitcase in there.
James is readmitted to hospital following a somewhat successful stint at weight loss, losing a whopping 4 pounds. In the hospital, James loses over 130 pounds on his diet. Pleased with his progress, Dr. Now allows James to continue at home, but just as you'd guess, by the time of his next appointment, he'd gained another 50 pounds back. With no other option, Dr. Now reports James's partner Lisa to Adult Protective Services, as her part to blame in James's weight gain is undeniable. Ultimately,
Bro, but the crazy thing is they can't do anything because she's not like force feeding him or anything. He doesn't have a feeding tube. He's the one chewing it, so they'll do nothing about it, even though I think they should have stepped in.
James leaves the hospital, requesting to terminate his treatment as he simply doesn't have the strength to continue. Unfortunately, on the 3rd of April 2020, James was rushed to hospital and tragically lost his life due to complications with sepsis, alongside a list of other serious health complications. His family and TLC all released statements sharing how heartbroken they were, with many viewers sharing a controversial view on his demise. James was just one star of the show who lost his life after the show had ended filming. And if you want to
All right, so I guess he's got every star on My 600 Pound Life who died too. But yeah, James was pretty bad just because he made the daughter drop out of school, the dad, the loan, all that stuff. But these are definitely some of the worst ones. I also think you got Gina there. Lisa Fleming would be a crazy case. You should do the most disgusting cases and put Lisa Fleming on there. James King could go on that one too. But that's Big Craig's video on biggest failures on My 600 Pound Life. I think he did a pretty good job with that one. He got most of everybody that really sucked it up pretty bad. Steven Assanti being one of the worst. And then, yeah, Shanae's up there in my Hall of Fame. Then probably James King. That's probably my list. Steven Assanti, Shanae, James King. That's top 3 for sure. But all right, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this one. And go check out Big Craig. He's a cool guy. See you later. Peace.